It was through a process of popular devotion, especially in some great religious orders, that the feast of the Sorrowful Mother came in as we know it, but step by step. The Cistercians and the Servites had a great devotion to these sorrows, and they pushed hard. In the Carthusian order, we had, just before Palm Sunday, the Feast of the Compassion, a vestige of an older date for this. Indeed, the old name would have been Our Lady of Compassion, and this sharing of the Passion is the essence of the feast, for she was Queen of Martyrs by the will. And St. Bernard pulls out that element very well. It's worth listening to his powerful words. The martyrdom of the Virgin Mary, implicit in Simeon's prophecy, is put before us in the story of our Lord's Passion. That venerable old man, Simeon, said of the infant Jesus, "This child is set for a sign that will be contradicted, and to Mary a sword will pierce your soul." And by popular devotion we see 7 swords often placed in her wounded heart. Blessed Mother, a sword did pierce your soul, for no sword could penetrate your Son's flesh without piercing your soul. After your own Son, Jesus, gave up his life, he was yours in a special sense, though he belongs to all. The cruel lance which opened his side and would not spare him in death, though it could do him no injury, could not touch his soul, but it pierced your soul. His soul was no longer there, but yours could not be set free, and it was pierced by a sword of sorrow. We rightly speak of you as more than a martyr, for the anguish of mind you suffered exceeded all bodily pain. And then he goes on to comment this wonderful gospel. Mother, behold your Son. These words were more painful than a sword thrust, for they pierced your soul and touched the quick, where soul is divided from spirit. What an exchange! John was given to you in place of Jesus, a disciple in place of the mother, a son of Zebedee in place of the Son of God, a mere man in place of the true God. These words must have pierced your loving soul, since just to recall them breaks our hearts, hard and so stony though they be. Then he goes on to indicate how the Apostle Paul mentions that the great evil in the heart of the pagans is that they have not affection. And this element of not being able to feel, Bernard pulls out. And it's something that we can take with us. For if we feel not the pain in other people's souls, then we are hardened also. Something that at the invitatory we are reminded of. Harden not your hearts. The soul that loves the Lord feels the pain in the heart of the Lord present in the person before us, in which he dwells. And not to feel pain is a spiritual illness. In the testimony given by Gloria Polo, we have that passage that it was indicated to her after her clinical death that the point at which she became really dark was when she no longer felt the pain that she was causing. As regards the gospel itself, John did take him or rather her, under his wing, and they went to Ephesus, and we still venerate the church and the house in that place. And it is there, of course, the First Ecumenical Council was held after the cessation of persecution in 325, and where precisely she was proclaimed Theotokos. There is more to our Blessed Lady than meets the eye. And it is also interesting that it was after the conclusion of that council that she did a miracle on the Esquiline Hill in Rome in the middle of summer, on the 5th of August. And that snow is still recorded there. We know that that's where the church dedicated in her honour was erected, the first church in her honour in the world. This then is the one who was at the foot of the cross and who is our model, the silent sufferer, the will. She was, in a sense, offering in a priestly way the sacrifice by the consent of her will, and we must do the same at the beginning of every day, offering all pain, invisible as well as visible. At the cross her station keeping, stood the mournful mother weeping, close to Jesus, to the last. Through her heart his sorrow sharing, all his bitter anguish bearing. Now at length the sword had passed. Oh, how sad and so distressed was that mother highly blessed, when the soul begotten morning, Christ above in torments hangs, she